Hello, good evening. Today, the 25th of February 2024, to present Camnet News, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news tonight: police dispel Chief MUCHINDA'S palace siege in SERENJE. Government dismisses corruption and violence allegations in by-elections. ZCSD calls for massive publicity of digital NRC rollout. In international news, ECOWAS lifts COUP sanctions on Niger in new push for dialogue. In sports news, Copper Queens in good physical shape ahead of Black Queens match.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Another news in detail. Government security agencies Saturday morning reportedly surrounded the palace of Senior Chief Muchinda of the Lala people of SERENJE district in Central Province. Addressing journalists in Lusaka, Kambwili Royal Establishment Chairperson Paul Wupe said royal family members have scampered from the palace for fear of their lives and their current whereabouts are still unknown. Mr. Wupe, flanked by Chief Muchinda, says the incident happened while the chief was visiting Lusaka after an engagement with Central Province Joint Operations Committee held at a provincial office in Kabwe.
We have learned with sadness that government security agencies have surrounded the palace of Senior Chief Muchinda Kankombawelala III of SERENJE district in Central Province. It is unfortunate that as I'm speaking, royal members have scampered from the palace for fear of their lives, and their current whereabouts are still unknown. The incident happened while the chief was visiting Lusaka after an engagement with Central Province Joint Operations Committee, the PJOC, that was held at the provincial office in Kabwe. In the PJOC, one of the strongest allegations that came out was that the chief has been grabbing livestock from the people of Southern Province, while in his chiefdom, an allegation that the chief and the purported victims have strongly denied.
However, the Zambia police in Central Province has denied the said siege at the Chief Muchinda's palace in SERENJE. Provincial Police Commissioner Charity Munganga says the team of police officers only visited the area to verify if the checkpoints earlier reported were removed as promised by the chief. Mrs. Munganga says the police has been investigating illegal checkpoints mounted by youths from the palace and collecting levies from truck drivers between 1,800 and 2,500 kwacha. She says findings on the ground revealed a well-established camp and a barrier at the site, and the youths were still illegally collecting money from truck drivers.
Police in SERENJE received information from the business community and members of the public that there were some youths from Chief Muchinda's palace who had established an illegal checkpoint where they were collecting between 1,500 and 2,500 from each truck driver in the area. As investigations into the matter were still going on, a meeting was held with His Royal Highness Senior Chief Muchinda, his advisor, and the secretary on Wednesday, where he promised that the youths from his palace who had mounted a checkpoint and illegally collecting levies from truck drivers would be withdrawn immediately. On Saturday, a team of officers went to verify if the checkpoints had been removed as promised by the chief during the meeting. The findings were that there was a well-established camp and a barrier at the site, and the youths were still illegally collecting money from truck drivers. The police officers that went to the scene removed the barrier, and the youths were sensitized on the need to engage the Ministry of Mines and police when they come across any illegal mining activities in the area, and the youths were told that they were not allowed to collect any form of revenue from the drivers, as it was not their mandate to do so. The youths were also further warned of arrest should they continue engaging themselves in illegal collection of revenue.
The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, says it is implementing a multi-sectoral approach with government ministries and other stakeholders in the last 2 months in a quest to eradicate cholera. In an interview, DMMU National Coordinator Dr. Gabriel Pollen says various measures such as water sanitation and hygiene wash that has resulted in 240 10-litre water tanks being installed in cholera hotspot areas. Dr. Pollen adds that through the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, it has mobilized over 100 vehicles that helped with relief operations around the pandemic. More in this report.
Since October 2023, 686 people have died from cholera in Zambia. The disease that broke out in Lusaka took a toll on the livelihood of Zambians, as 19,930 cases have been recorded since last year. The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit says since the numbers started soaring high, they have put across various strategies to mitigate the further spread of the disease.
Cholera, and this has involved a number of key pillars that the government has relied upon based on a comprehensive, robust and holistic intervention that deals with a range of underlying factors that fuel the current cholera outbreak. So the first instance, there's a dealing around case management, with the government focused on clinical care, provision of medical products in order to address the cholera ailments.
DMMU National Coordinator Dr. Gabriel Pollen says measures such as the WASH program were put in place and enabled the installation of 240 10-litre water tanks that continue to supply clean water in cholera-prone areas.
Second pillar involves itself with WASH, which essentially is water, sanitation and hygiene, and here the government has installed at least 240 10,000-litre tanks across cholera hotspot areas. In essence, the government is delivering at least 2.4 million litres of water on a daily basis in order to provide clean drinking fresh water to the afflicted areas.
Dr. Pollen also adds that the unit, in collaboration with the Ministry